Hey there, notary friends. If you are a notary, it is very possible that you may be requested by someone to sign off as an authorized representative on what is called Form I-9. It is a federal form that certain employers are required to have completed by all of their employees, and someone has to view their documents. And I'll talk more about the documents later in this video, but someone has to view their documents and say that the person completing the form is who they say they are, and then you sign off on the form. It's that simple, okay? The form itself does not need to be notarized. Let me start by saying that. However, some employers do provide a secondary form to go with Form I-9 that does require notarization. They look at notaries as trusted representatives of their company, just trusted representatives, period, instead of like anyone. It could be your cousin, auntie, whoever. Right now, and by right now, I mean in May, June of 2022, anyone can serve as Form I-9 authorized representatives. The government has decided they'll be more lenient due to COVID. So instead of it having to be someone who is restricted to like working at the company or something like that, it can be a cousin, an auntie, a sister, someone in your house, someone not in your house, and you can sign off on it. But for our purposes, we're looking at this as notaries. We'll just say someone has come to you to say, hey, can you sign off on my Form I-9 as an authorized representative? So keep watching to learn more. All right, so here's Form I-9. It may look familiar to some of you. I see these all the time because, like I said, I work in HR and I have to fill this out for every single new hire or rehire that we have at the office. And even off-site, I have to fill these out. So what goes into this form is the employee's personal information. You'll see here that it has to say whether they're a citizen or not, or if they have a right to work, date signed, date, but you don't have to do all of that right then and there, right? What you're here to do is to review their documents and certify that they're accurate. So you're acting as an authorized representative. And from my understanding, depending on what state you're in, the employer may have a letter or a form that they want you to complete to say who you are and that you accept being an authorized representative. But her employer said that they didn't need to give me a letter or anything. This is through her, by the way. And all I had to do was sign, fill in my information, and then that was that. I looked at her documents. So I put in her last name, first name, middle initial, citizenship status. Then I filled out the ID information here. List A is going to be something like a passport. There are several other options, but I'm just saying that's one of the most common ones. List B would be an option like a driver's license because it verifies your identity. It has your picture and your information. And then list C would be something like a Social Security card. That's what a lot of people use. Now, you can't tell a person what they can use, but you can just advise them to look at the list, and I'll show you where the list is. But for you, what you would fill out as the notary or as the authorized representative, because that's the thing, you don't actually have to stamp this, but you're the authorized representative. You sign, you date, your title. I was told my title is authorized representative. My last name, my first name, and her employer actually had all the rest of this filled out already with their address and her name. So all I had to do was look at her stuff, sign, and date. So here's where you see the list of acceptable documents. Like I said, list A includes a document that could verify your identity and employment authorization. U.S. passport's always really common, but there's several other things. If someone doesn't have a U.S. passport, they could have a green card, otherwise known as a permanent resident card. Several things here. And you can't tell a person which one they have to use. That is how you end up in a lawsuit. But you can just say you have to have a valid ID from list A or list B and list C, because you have to have one of each from here or one list A by itself. I hope I'm making sense when I say that. I feel like I'm swallowing my words. But yeah, so that was it. She showed me her driver's license and her social security card. Those are on the list. And then I signed, and that was it. But there's a bunch more stuff, usually a bunch of instructions that come on the back. more pages, but this is a shortened version. So this is really all you have to do. I looked, I signed, filled it out, gave it back to her, and I went on my way. So that's really it for Form I-9. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become with it. Now, there are some documents that people use that might trip you up every now and again, and that's okay. You can always go to the Form I-9 website where they have the instructions, and you can learn more about how to process the different types of documents, especially when it comes to those List B and List C documents. The combination can sometimes throw you off. Things that are most common, of course, are going to be the driver's license or state ID, plus the the social security card, right? So those are most common, and those are the easy ones to use, but not everyone has those. So you have to keep in mind and just brace yourself that you can receive anything off of that list, whether it's a B and C combination or it's one of those list A documents. So just keep that in mind and just go directly to the website instructions for how to handle. If you have questions, though, and you want some support or to follow up and see what else you might run into, as I mentioned before, I do work in HR, so I do fill these forms out all the time. All the time. Every time we hire someone, I have to fill out this form. Or if we rehire someone, I have to fill out this form. Or if someone obtains new visa documents, I have to fill out this form. So something that I'm offering now are some one-on-one appointments. You can actually go to the Pitch website. I'll put the links below as well. I have Notary one-on-one appointment times there available, and I also have just HR consultation meetups available if you want to talk about anything you're experiencing personally at work that you would like some advice from me on, because like I said, I've been an HR director, been an HR generalist. This is literally what I do. So if you want some guidance on maybe how to reply to an email, how to deal with a manager who's being problematic, how to get your documentation together, if you need to lodge a complaint with HR within your own company, that's what these appointments are for. If you want to talk about Form I-9, all of these things are available to you. I think I have it set up where you can have a 30-minute chat with me about any HR issues that you have, or 20-minute notary chats. Usually the notary calls are pretty short, so I limited that to 20 minutes. You can book as many of them as you want. So that's it for me today. If you have any comments, please drop them below. If you have any questions, please feel free to follow up and schedule one-on-one sessions with me, and I'm here to help. So that's it from me today. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.